This is Gina Anderson Cohen, and I am here with David Blitz, who is the CEO and co-founder at Blitz Lake Partners, as well as the CEO and co-founder at Studio 3. David, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm a big fan of Studio 3. I've been hitting the bikes, the treads, the benches, the rowers, and the yoga mat over the years at the studios as you've opened them. But talk to us before we get into it. What were you doing before Studio 3, and what do you do outside of Studio 3?
Yeah, so in a previous life, I was in real estate banking right after I finished with college, and I got my feet wet in the real estate, the banking industry here in Chicago, building a lot of connections. And I noticed that we'd always go to happy hours and all these team building events, and I always I believe everyone's an athlete, and I started going into the big box gyms, small box boutiques. Slowly I realized that my passion was more in the while I still enjoyed real estate, my passion was really in the gym and fitness industry.
That's how it gets you. Fitness sneaks up on you that way.
Yeah.
And you were able to do a lot of this with your best friend too, right?
Yeah. So so Jeff Lake and I met in high school, and he, we remained obviously really close. He's still a full-time trader. We talk on a daily basis, which has really been great and really unique for the 20-some years we've now known each other and been best friends. So.
Yeah. So as you were sort of ideating around Studio 3, you saw a hole in the marketplace, and you wanted to put something into the fitness space that hadn't existed before. When did you kind of bake the idea for Studio 3, and why sort of the three modalities?
Yeah, so that's a good question. As I was going into, I would go to all these various big box gyms, and then the smaller boutiques started coming to Chicago. I noticed that the most important thing and the most important asset every studio had was really the instructors and the community.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, being in developing smaller and called mid-sized real estate at the time, I noticed a huge gap in the way that some of these studios were built, from the finishes to the HVAC structure, and when something would break in the middle of class or the showers wouldn't work, then I could see the look on people's faces and myself alike. And a lot of people would go from would follow an instructor, would follow a brand, but at the same time, they'd go to an interval workout on a Monday, they'd do their cycle on. They'd go to, say, yoga bar, and maybe on a Thursday after a day off, and they'd all travel with their fellowship groups, but at the same time they really were adamant about this routine and having that right recipe for workouts.
So I currently live in River North. I will actually be moving to the West Loop soon, so I'm a studio. I just am following your gym from place to place.
Awesome.
But I remember vividly the rap going around this old historic brick building. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine you had to do a gut rehab on that building. I remember the rap going up and the signs about the sort of 3 intervals. There was a different name originally, but Studio 3 was announced. And then I remember it taking some time. How long did that build out for that first studio take?
So it took out much longer than we initially wanted it to. We ended up making a lot of changes, a lot of upgrades as the time went on. We helped really redevelop that building from the structure to really all the guts that are now inside of it, including digging down the basement another 5 or 6 feet all the way to the water table.
Oh, wow.
So, as far as we could, getting it open was obviously our number one priority, and it's really served us well and our teams well for the last almost 7 years now here.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine opening one studio or gym is really challenging, but you not only had to open one, but you were opening 3 at the same time and putting all those systems in place, right?
It's definitely some challenges there along the way, but also some good learning experiences as we, we're building the the sound barriers from one studio to the next, and the different structural grids here, and and you hear some, you knew you were gonna have 50 people jumping up and down and doing burpees. So definitely wanted to create something special, and knew that we were. So
yeah. Burpees, incidentally, are one thing I didn't think that I would do post-pandemic, but I've welcomed them back into my life as of last week.
Yeah. Well, likewise, definitely fun stuff.
Yeah, they're back with a vengeance. And one thing that's really special, and I think you hit on this sort of as you were talking about what was missing and where people choose to work out, is community. So at River North, when did you know, or you and your team know, that a community had truly formed? When did you think you'd made it from that respect?
I think it took a few months to get over that hump. When you see a lot of people's first time experiences were really, it's always make or break. So you want to make sure everything is spot on, and you see somebody a few times, you start becoming friends, you start mingling with them. And I think it was really by the spring of 2016 that we really saw classes full, people walking in, everyone was smiling. It was a good time.
You've done a good job of encouraging community over the years. I know instructors have been instrumental in that, as well as just the management and operations team. Can you think of any specific examples of encouraging and growing and building community over these years?
We've had a lot of member events over the years. We have an event, for instance, in November at our anniversary called Threester, and where all the members are invited to book. Usually fills up pretty fast, and you do all 3 classes.
We call that a crawl over at aSweatLife. Three classes in one day, that is a challenge.
Yeah, or a difficult workout.
Yeah, I think it's also really fun having anecdotally been in studio. When you've been in studio, folks know who you are and are excited to see you in class too. You're a frequent attendee of classes. People take meetings with you in class, right?
I enjoy it I always look at myself as a member. I've always enjoyed getting to see new people and meet new people and really getting to know the community. I used to take class twice a day. I think I still sort of do, but I'm trying to give myself a little breathing space here and there.
Twice a day is insane. You have other jobs, David. Okay, let's talk about expansion. So we've talked about the first location, built River North painstakingly. So when did you know it was time to expand from River North to that Lincoln Park location?
I think once you really felt that the machine started to feel well oiled, it was really time to get out and start looking for another location. A lot of our clients lived or worked within, call it a mile or so of our first location here, so we wanted to get out of that radius. The classes were full. We wanted to continue to take the talent that we had and elevate it. So, we spent actually a significant amount of time, and then we stumbled upon the space up in Lincoln Park, which is an old art gallery, and previous to that, it was a bank. And we were lucky enough to make a deal there and open up second studio, which was a much shorter build out, but ultimately opened in early 2019.
Yeah, so from 2015 to 2019, and we'll talk about the pandemic in a little bit too. But that location actually became, I would say, instrumental in some of your pandemic plans too.
Absolutely, yeah. We did the outdoor covered workouts and a lot of other factors we were able to utilize there.
Who can plan for the future? Maybe you can see the future, and we just don't know that yet. Yeah. And so then going from Lincoln Park to Fulton Market, it's the only location where all 3 disciplines are on one floor.
Yeah. So I think it took us 2 studios to realize that having everything on one floor, really in one concise, good space, is really the most optimal for ourselves. I think we realized that a little bit earlier, but it's just it's finding the space and the infill locations is obviously key. But the Fulton Market space, and we really wanted to continue to take what we had, keep the elements of the brand, of course, the same, but then elevate the design. Partner with Gensler, who designed 333 North Green as well.
Yeah, I love the design. I think you can see the elements from the first two studios and then just some elevated elements too in the Fulton Market space. Incidentally, one of the aSweatLife ambassadors, Riley, it worked on that project too. So we didn't get any previews. I want you to know that, but we did. we did know she was excited about it.
I know she's one of the best.
Yeah, we love her, and she's really strong too, by the way. But I digress. So every location we've talked about up until now has been in Chicago, in three of the trendiest neighborhoods in the city. But you're about to reach way outside of Chicago into Austin and into Miami. So let's talk about what it took to get there, timing, and how you knew those markets were right.
Yeah, so I think pre-pandemic, we really wanted to expand out of state, and we started to look for spaces, and then the pandemic hit. So we took steps back a little bit. We could talk about that in a bit, about how that was and what we did there. We've always looked at each market individually, knowing that there's a lot of different factors that influence where we ultimately would plant our flag for that first out-of-state location, among not including but not limited to the landlord, the space, the actual building, the type of construction, the actual corner, and then of course the market. And as we were looking, the site in Austin at the Thompson Hotel with Magellan, everything seemed to click there, and we were really excited about it. Excited about all the companies and people and everything going to Austin. So that was a little bit of how it began to unfold.
And that's why my husband and I spent a month in Austin in March. So we actually got to see where Studio 3 is going. It's right off South Congress. It's an awesome location near any place you want to spend money, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we're excited. There's 350 apartments and about the same number of hotel keys above us, all in the same building. So
awesome.
We'll be able to really draw and really partner with all those great people.
So I know where we're staying next time. Let me go there. And timing for that one, you want to give us a rough window? I know we don't like to overpromise.
So we're thinking this fall, plus or minus November for an opening date. Construction's on pace, on schedule, and it's every day. It's something excited's going on in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it easier to build in Texas than it is in Illinois?
I wouldn't say it's easier to build anywhere. Every space has its own every space and locality has its own challenges, and we've definitely navigated all those as the timing has allowed. We do have a really strong team that works on the development there. So
awesome. And the Miami, I know we've got rough timing, right?
Yeah, so rough timing, spring of 2023, we'll probably begin building our space out, which is already complete in Wynwood, thinking about a 4 or 5 month build out and then a opening shortly thereafter.
That feels quick.
Yeah.
Okay. This is great. We've got lofty goals. We'll just do a aSweatLife tour of Studio 3 across the country.
You do.
Yeah. Let's address the dark, stormy cloud of the past couple years. Let's talk about the pandemic of it all. I personally think Studio 3 did a great job of staying ahead or on top of the wave that was hitting us all. Can you talk through sort of the in-studio safety measures, some of the outdoor and digital things that you implemented?
Obviously nobody knew how to forecast what was going on. What was most important to us and always is our team. And we were fortunate enough that we were able to keep most all the team together throughout the pandemic. And everybody was very, very valuable, had great ideas, great creativity, and how we could navigate every situation. So when things shut down right away, we pivoted to a Instagram Live platform, which was received very well. People from all across the world were taking our different yoga, strength, yoga, flow, other various classes that we were offering there. And then we moved from that into a Zoom platform, which was great as well because it allowed multiple classes throughout the day during the stay-at-home order and the ultimate shutdown in Chicago. In early July, So 3 months in, we were able to do outdoor classes again without opening the indoors. So we built our first outdoor space in River North, actually at a piece of land that we own at Orleans and Chestnut. And what we did is we put 50 six foot apart wood platforms on 2x4s with artificial turf on top, so that people had their own island essentially, and we were able to come there with their yoga mat, with their props, and do the instructor-led workout. And obviously, being in the summer, it was great. So we were able to, people were outside, they hadn't seen each other in person in a couple months there. Then when we were able to reopen the studios a few months after that, we took all the measures that we could in order to get, after various polls and conversations with not just our clients, but medical professionals, in order to really keep everybody as safe as we could. And it included taking temperatures when you walked in. So we had stations, you had to be under 100 degrees, created plexiglass dividers in between every station so that you weren't breathing on people. We upgraded the air filtration systems from already what we had built. So the air was flowing in and continues to flow in and out of the studio up to 14 times an hour with fresh air circling in. We took increased safety measures, increased cleaning measures, every type of special sanitizer you could possibly think about. We were using in there. So yeah, that was that's just a little bit of what we started to do, and I think people really felt safe.
So I could also say as an observer too, because my balcony overlooks the outdoor spot in River North, so I could see it, and it was really interesting to watch it unfold, because after every class I would see the instructor or whoever was on site come out and spray everything. So not only were people kind of coming out and having their own space, everything was sprayed down between classes, and it was happening when people couldn't even see it besides me, an observer from a balcony.
It's great. It was really important, because it really affected a lot of, obviously, besides what, the negatives, it really helped a lot of people, both mentally and physically, during the pandemic, get out and see people and get active. And, there's nothing more important than really that physical exertion in tough times like that.
Yeah. So what do you think you and your team took from the pandemic? Let's say everything goes back to normal forever and we never have to do that again. What do you think you and your team took from this experience?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think, there's a lot of people took a lot of different things. We learned how to, obviously the team grew a lot closer, gain efficiencies in different areas. We were able to take a step back and really evaluate different parts of our business plan and really look at things with a whole new set of glasses, so to say, when we're not in the fire operating every single day. Mm-hmm. And, we also met a lot of new friends throughout the industry that we remain close with and are able to bounce things off of.
Yeah, it became kind of I would say the industry got a lot closer because people had to share information in order to survive.
For sure.
All right, let's move on from pandemic. Let's leave it all behind us. Let's talk about achievements. I know we love at aSweatLife, and we love on this podcast, we got goals celebrating folks' achievements and big goals. And I know there are a couple of big achievements that Studio 3 has sort of unlocked over the years, including being Crane's best place to work and one of Inc.'s fastest growing companies. So can you talk us through sort of what these achievements meant to you and your team and kind of what you're looking towards in the future?
Yeah, so the first two that you brought up was the Crane's top 100 places to work. That's really important because obviously culture and morale and something is huge in every workplace, and every employee is required to vote or give us a survey, give feedback on this throughout a company. So it's not just a one person or two people saying this company's great because of this, they provide this. We check 6 boxes, and collectively, all of our instructors really felt that they were excited every single morning when they wake up, and that goes from every single person that plays a part in affecting somebody's life every single day, which is really greater than a lot of things. And we were able to, obviously getting that achievement was huge. Getting the the Inc. top, the Inc. being on the Inc. 5000 list was fun as well. It was really just a barometer of how we're doing compared to a few years back, but at the same time, comparing against a lot of these really large companies across the United States is something to be really, really proud of, and our team is really proud of, because all the collective teamwork and effort that we've put in and blood, sweat, and tears has been huge and really well worth it. And then recognized as ClassPass's #1 studio in Chicago, which was definitely something to be very proud of, because there's ClassPass, as we all know, is a great partner, and they have every studio, it feels like, you can go down on ClassPass, and it really is members' feedback and the membership, the hospitality experience of our members, and some of the ClassPass members go to other places, of course. So that was really, really something that the team really worked hard for.
I mean, I feel like we could talk about accolades all day.
Yeah, no, being listed in the Wall Street Journal as the wellness innovator during COVID-19 was really fun. And I know the team really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm not just blowing smoke in your direction. It was truly very interesting to watch Studio 3 innovate, because I do think you took safety measures either like on the cusp or before a lot of different studios, and you also were innovating sort of in the same way before on the cusp. So it was really great to watch. I mean, Wall Street Journal says you're an innovator, and aSweatLife does too. We'll add that to the list.
Exactly.
Well, I want to talk about you a little bit here. I know you talked about how you are working out twice a day at Studio 3. You think everyone is an athlete. I do too. Let's talk about your journey as an athlete and your journey as a leader. What have you learned as an athlete over the years?
Yeah, so I think everybody has their own journey. No matter who you are, no matter where everybody comes from a different, is talented in different ways. I was always a runner, and then but I got off the running wagon a little bit and focused on other things. I was probably 40, 50 pounds heavier than I am now. And Studio 3 has gotten me to really not just lose the weight, but at the same time, really feel better, feel mentally better, get the endorphins going in the morning. And getting into the yoga classes, you get more, whether you're building strength, you're building flexibility. It really is the aspect of the cross training ability and the ability to really set the goals that you want and achieve them in the classes that you want is huge and is really critical. I became a cyclist. I like to cycle, and as of late, I've been coming. I'm doing the interval workouts, which are just incredible. They really challenge you to not only lift, really go at your own pace, but at the same time, hit your own goals. Whether you're on the treadmill, conquering a hill, you're on the floor, or you're on the rower, and which is really one of the most incredible machines out there, because the rower just takes everything out of you.
Yeah. I remember the first time I took the interval class, I was like, a rower and a treadmill? It really gets you. The strength portion of class makes up for it. You've got that self-pacing element there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What about as a leader? Anything you've kind of taken over the years, either from your athletic journey or from opening all of these studios?
Yeah, it's really to continue to trust your team, and really listen to everyone's. There's nothing better than collaboration and creative ideas, and nothing more beautiful than teamwork in any regard. Because this is what we're on all here together with Studio 3. We can't win alone. We have to win together, and we have a really fierce, awesome team of people and humans that really want to win together, and have really been loyal in that as well.
I love that. All right, I have one more question for you. Our listeners are really going to be across the spectrum, but I would say for this episode, it's folks in the fitness industry who are making this their career, or folks who are just everyday athletes. Is there anything that you want to say or any lessons you've taken that you want to share?
I just to continue to just go at, your own pace, and obviously not pushing yourself too hard, because that you'll always see burnout there, and always make sure to, always put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And at the same time, that's it for now.
Yeah, be good people. And David, I'll end with this story before we say our goodbyes. But I've told you this anecdote, and it's one of my favorite about you as a person. But I've taken a few cycling classes at Studio 3, and I would say you were in most of them when I was in them, and you won most of them too. Would you say you're a very competitive person?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely very competitive.
Yeah. David is here to win. So shameless plug, where can listeners find you and Studio 3 before we say goodbye?
So I'm on David Blitz, just my name, David Blitz, on Instagram. And then Studio 3 is Studio 3 Instagram, and studio3.com. And we have TikTok now, Studio 3 Talk. That's it. And we have a new app. You should download an app in the App Store, which is awesome, and we're going to continue to make that better over time. I think in the next 4 or 5 months, we'll be releasing new features that include membership rewards and badges and all these other fun things to track. So it's definitely something to download, get into, and just obsess over.
Yeah, I love that. David, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate you and everything that your amazing team does, aSweatLife.